Surprise, you son of a bitch! My Dean voice there. Yes, I decided. I don't freaking know. So, after I did my last Tales from the Crypt review, I was sitting there and I'm thinking, well, I want to review a TV show. What TV show can I sit and watch without, feeling, timed out on it, And really, the only show I can think of is Supernatural, which is my favorite show. One point it was Smallville, but once that ended and I got into this is the next show I got into, and it became my favorite show ever since then. So, well, actually, it was on while it was going on, but it became the favorite show afterwards. Like, at first, Smallville was number one, this was number two, and when Smallville ended, it went kind of below, because Supernatural was still going, so... Yeah, there's 15 seasons, sort of. 15th season is not done. They will finish in October because of what's going on in the world right now. But I have 14 of the 15 seasons. I'm not saying we're going to do a whole bunch right away, but I figured we could start with the first episode entitled Pilot. At least get the first disc done, right? Actually, there's more than 4 episodes on this. It's the Blu-ray, which I bought. I have a little bit of history with my Supernatural home media. I had the first 6 seasons, and I allowed someone into my life who was a thief, because I was a fucking idiot at the time and didn't listen to a friend of mine, and I should have. I'm not going to go any further, but... Yeah, and he stole all my Supernatural seasons, except for season 6. Because that one was in the bedroom, shoved under somewhere, and not with the rest of them like they're supposed to. Actually, my original first season with DVD set, actually, I had to make a new case for it. Because, you see my reconstructions I've done, I have a video on them. Because the thing was, when I was living with my mom, back before I moved on my own, I had it on one of the footstools she had, and while I was looking for something, or I got pissed or something, I flipped it over, and I forgot that the Supernatural was on it, and it messed up the case to where the disc kept falling out. So I created a new case with those little thin ones you could slide in, and it worked. Then it was stolen. And season 6 was the only one I have left, except for one disc that was missing, but still had that set, actually. But, yeah, so I then started rebuying the seasons. And I spent all that money rebuying the other ones. Seasons 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I still had 6. And then, so then I decided I'm going to try to get them all on Blu-ray. I did the first 3 from Family Video online shopping. Then I stopped for some reason. And I keep trying to go back to it, but I keep thinking, because I keep buying the DVD sets when they come out. Like, I have all 14 seasons, only the first 3 seasons are on Blu-ray. Because I keep buying the DVDs. I'm like, I'm just going to keep buying the DVD sets. It's going to cost me double the money to buy the DVD sets, and then later double down, double dip, and buy the Blu-rays. So, maybe eventually down the road, I will. But, for now, I'm fine where I'm at. So, we start with Season 1, Episode 1, Pilot. And we get a backstory at the beginning of the episode here. Sam and Dean are little kids. Their parents, John and Mary, husband and wife, bringing home a brand new life. His name is Sammy, our big brother Dean. Sorry, we'll get to that. That's like the 200th episode, so that's a long ways away, but they did a musical episode. He wasn't actually singing, by the way, so if you're going, wait, no. It was girls Funny enough. Anyway, so the story, like Supernatural, was brought to us by Eric Kripke, and he was with the show for the first 5 seasons. And I mentioned this in my I've done commentaries for one episode from each of the first 5 seasons because I think those are the best seasons. They got some of the best episodes. So I said this in my commentary for the Swan Song, which was the 5th season finale. It was meant to be the series finale overall, and it's gone on to be last 15 seasons. So yeah. So anyway, Mary goes to check on Sam, and she believes her husband is standing there, but it's something else. Cause she hears a noise, she goes downstairs, and her husband is sleeping, watching TV. So she runs up, and yeah, she screams. John comes running up, Mary, and he looks up, he goes over, he checks on Sam, and then blood starts dripping. He looks up. Mary is on the wall, slit open here, and then she starts on fire. And this brings in one of my favorite lines of the show, where he hands Sam to Dean. He says, "Take Sam and run as fast as you can. Now, Dean, go!" He tells him to run out of the house. And yeah. And we cut 22 years later. Sam is now in college, 22 years old, which I guess you would be, but depending on how long your college is. And he's with his girlfriend, Jessica. And one night, Dean shows up. Sam says, "What are you doing here, Dean?" Dean responds with, "Well, I was looking for a beer." And then we get another famous line from the show. Dad's gone. He hasn't been home for a while. He's probably just, drinking or whatever. Basically is what he's trying to say. And then we get the line, "Dad's on a hunting trip. He has been home in a few days." And that's when he's like, "Jessica, will you excuse us?" So they decide to go to the last location their father was at, which is in Jericho. I don't remember the place called Jericho, I guess. And there they come upon Constance Welsh. We cut to this guy on the phone with his girlfriend, and they hang up, and he happens to run into Constance, this woman, and she's like, "Do you want to come home with me?" He's like, "Hell yeah!" And then he takes her home, and she disappears, and then attacks him, and that's basically our Monster of the Week. This is originally Monster of the Week format, and they decided to expand it into more of the lore. Like, season 4 is when they started really expanding the lore. But, so Sam and Edie are investigating. What they do is, because they're hunters, they don't have other means of making money. They run credit card scams, and they pretend to be like, I think here they're federal wildlife marshals, or they're just marshals, U.S. marshals. They're like, "You're a little young to be marshals." Thank you. And yeah, so they start investigate. There's this scene where Sam is going through. He goes, "We need to talk about your collection of cassette tapes. All right? For one, they're cassette tapes. And 2, Metallica. This is the greatest hits of Mullet Rock. And this is another great line. Number 1 rule, Sammy. Driver picks the music. Shotgun shots is K. Cole." Love that line. And they play. The weird thing is, he's holding, because Sam said it's Metallica, He puts it in, and it plays AC/DC. I mentioned that in my commentary, but yeah, the tape said he said the tape was Metallica. But when he put it in, it plays AC/DC Back in Black. Like he puts it in, bang, 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 bang. That's another thing about this show, the music. At least for the first 5 seasons. There's some music in like season 6 and maybe season 7 that are okay. But the first 5 seasons, Eric Kripke is a big classic rock fan. So he incorporated that into the show. He did so much for the show that he kind of just ignored after he left, which kind of sucks. We'll explain that once we get further. But yeah. So they check into a hotel and they use the name Hector Ephraimian. That's the thing. And then they're like, oh, there was another Ephraimian here. And they realize their dad also stayed at that hotel. So they go into his room and they realize that their dad had figured out what it was. Constance Welsh is a woman in white. And a woman in white is basically the ghost of a woman who was scorned by a man. Like cheated on her or something like that. And so she drowned her kids and then killed herself. And now she's doomed to wander the highway where she killed herself and find an unfaithful man. And if she does, she will kill them. However, I do think that what ends up happening in the end of this episode is just for plot convenience because it really doesn't make any sense. So, anyway, the guy was basically cheating on his girlfriend, I think. Was going to, whatever. And Constance's husband, which is Dwayne Barry from the X-Files, by the way. If you know what that is, I know what that is. It's pretty cool seeing him there. And Sam goes to talk to him when Dean gets arrested. And they're like, oh, fake marshal, fake credit cards. Do you have anything that's real? And Dean, of course, with the smart remarks, goes, my boobs. Smiles. He gets arrested, and they keep trying to talk to him about this journal that they found in the hotel room, which is their dad's journal. And inside there are numbers, which ends up being coordinates. And after Dean gets out, he realizes that his dad's not there anymore. So he wants to leave, but they can't leave because they're in the middle of a case. And so they finish this case. Sam is attacked by Constance and driven to her house. And he's like, you can't kill me. I'm not unfaithful. I've never been. And she's like, you will. I find that to be bullshit. Like, I know Sam, it's the first episode, but Sam is that kind of guy who wouldn't cheat on someone. I believe so. Dean, well, that's a different story. But, yeah. So the fact that it was Sam that is taken and not Dean, well, it kind of makes sense because Dean didn't have a girlfriend. But Sam, just plot contrivance. And then Dean gets there somehow. And, yeah. I missed the scene when they were on the bridge and she takes control of the car. Oh, son of a bitch! You know, yeah. And then, the ending. Because, like, Sam said he has a law school interview and it's his whole future on a plate. So, he has to be taken home. And so, Dean drops him off and he leaves. And he goes in and he's called for Jessica. There's cookies. And he goes to lay down in bed. He lays there. Drip, drip, drip. Blood. He looks up. Or just one drip, actually. He looks up. And there's Jessica. Cut across the waistline here. Bleeding. Fire, just like his mom did. And then Dean comes running in. And I've always been confused. They never explained it. Dean left. Like, he drove off. Like, I believe we see him drive off. So how did he know to come back? I don't understand that. But he comes in, he saves Sam. And then we, because it's the same yellow-eyed demon that they killed their mom. So you get the great ending of this episode where you have Sam and Dean standing with the open trunk. You get that great shot from the trunk. And then you get him looking down. Sam throws the pistol in and he goes, "We got work to do." And shuts. And that's a great way to end the first episode. The first episode I saw actually was the first episode of season 2, which I'll talk about eventually when we get there. But this is a great first episode. As you can tell, there was some good lines in here, like driver picks the music, shotgun shots his cake call, dad's on a hunting trip, you guys been home in a few days, well, I was looking for a beer. Also, one I didn't mention, I love the Smurfs. Jessica comes in wearing this tight little Smurf shirt, and he's like, "Oh, I love the Smurfs." Pretty good episode. Casting, I guess I should say. Jared Padalecki plays Sam, Jensen Ackles plays Dean, and their father is played by Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who's really not that much older than Jensen Ackles, but for the younger scenes, he does have no beard, and then for when he's supposed to be older, he does have a beard. So I guess that helps, and it really helps when he came back in season 13, and he's all gray now. So it really works, even though continuity-wise, he wouldn't be all gray. I'm just saying, we'll get to that eventually done. That'd be like forever, but yeah. So yeah, that's the first episode of Supernatural, and it's a pretty good episode. Next is Wendigo, and that's another good one. So I brought this to look and see how many episodes are on a disc. It's like 6, because Blu-rays can hold more than DVDs. So 6 on each disc, except for the last one, which has 5. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So yeah. So I got 6 episodes I'm gonna do today, probably. You know, and that'll work for the Blu-rays. They hold more, so I can do. So next is Wendigo, which I think the first 4 episodes are the ones I like to watch the most. But like I said, I couldn't watch them. No, I couldn't, because the disc 1 got so fucked up from being chucked around that I couldn't watch the first 4 episodes. So what I did back when I still had a VCR was TNT constantly plays Supernatural, and so I waited until because back then they didn't have all the seasons. It was like the first 7, 8 seasons at the time. Now they just finished season 13 or 14 the other day, which I can't wait to talk about that finale, which is going to be a while. But yeah, so they played all 4 episodes back to back. The first 4 episodes. So I recorded all 4 on a VHS, which I still have somewhere, but I can't watch. But yeah, and then I rebought the DVD, so I could watch it on the DVD without commercials, and then I got the Blu-ray. So yeah. So what are you guys' thoughts on the first episode of Supernatural? Let me know in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty. See you in the next one. Forgot I was supposed to tell us from the crypt for a second.